I need to make this video, but I know it's dangerous. I've got my hands on a 30-year classified file. The contents are so explosive that if something happens to me tomorrow, you'll know why. Hello, everyone. What I'm about to share with you today is probably the most dangerous story I've ever told on this channel. This black file you see me holding, this file has been waiting in the darkest corners of government archives for 30 years, and today, for the first time, its contents are coming to light. Look, it's completely black, no markings, no date, no classification code, just black. But what's inside will change everything you thought you knew about the last 30 years. Yesterday evening at exactly 10:47 p.m., my doorbell rang. When I opened the door, no one was there. Just this file lying at my feet. And a note. I can't tell you what the note said, but I can tell you this. The person who gave me this file has been working in government archives for 30 years, and they can't carry these secrets anymore. But let me tell you something. When I opened this file, the first line I read was, "The real target of Operation Eagle, initiated in 1994. And this is where everything changes. Do you remember 1994? What was happening in the world? What do the official history books say? But what if I told you there was a secret operation launched that year, and the traces of this operation are still affecting our lives today?" The first document in the file reads, Operation Eagle, classification level, top secret, project duration 30 years, project objective, social control architecture. There's a name in this document, project director, Colonel Michael Harrison. Have you ever heard this name? Of course not, because Colonel Harrison doesn't exist in any official records. It's as if he never existed. But Operation Eagle, that was very real. The documents in the file show that in 1994, a secret unit was established within the government. The purpose of this unit, this is hard to say, but the purpose was to identify and control social movements before they happen. In simple terms, to identify people who might revolt before they revolt and neutralize them. But here's the most terrifying part. This operation never ended. It's been running for 30 years, and the last report date in the file, 2024. So this operation is active right now at this very moment. Look, there are other documents here. One says Media Control Protocol, another Social Media Influence Analysis, and another Civil Society Organization Monitoring Lists. And everyone, there's a list here, under the heading 2023 to 2024 Monitoring List. Do you know who's on this list? Journalists, academics, social media influencers, and some YouTube channel owners. Yes, you heard right. YouTube channel owners are being monitored too. And at the top of this list it says, high social impact capacity individuals. When I read this list, honestly, I started shaking, because there were names of channels doing similar work to mine on this list, and there were notes next to them. For example, next to one channel it says, neutralization date, March 2024. Those who follow that channel know it really did shut down in March. The reason was unknown. Next to another channel, social media accounts closed, April 2024. That really happened too. And everyone, the most frightening part is this. At the bottom of this list, there's a note, 2025 targets. And on the 2025 targets list, I don't want to believe it, but I have to say it. It says this channel has similar characteristics too. The file also contains documents explaining how the operation works, and the method is really sophisticated. Phase 1. Target identification. Influential people in social media, traditional media, academic circles are identified. Phase 2. Impact analysis. The effect these people have on society is measured. Phase 3. Strategy determination. If the impact is low, they're ignored. If medium, they're directed. If high ... If high, they're neutralized. So how are they neutralized? The file has details on this too. Method 1. Manipulating social media algorithms, making sure the person's content reaches fewer people. Method 2. Economic pressure, blocking sponsors, job opportunities. Method 3. Social isolation, creating problems with people around them. And Method 4. Method 4. Direct intervention. I don't want to give details on this, but you understand. And everyone. The file also shows success rates. In the last 5 years, 47 people have been neutralized using these methods, and the success rate is 94%. So how is this operation financed? What's the cost of such a massive operation? The file has documents about this too, and the numbers are incredible. Budget allocated to Operation Eagle for 2024, $45 million. $45 million everyone. And where does this money come from? There's no such line item in the official budget, because this money is collected from budgets in different institutions under discretionary spending. $1 million from here, $2 million from there, $3 million from over there. And the most shocking part, some of this money comes from EU funds. Yes, you heard right. Part of the EU funds received under democracy projects goes to this anti-democracy operation. But everyone, this operation isn't just happening here. The file also has coordination documents with other countries. For example, it says here, information sharing with similar operations. Partner countries, Hungary, Poland, Russia. So this isn't just our country's problem. This is a global system, and this system is destroying democracy from within democratic systems. And everyone, the file also has 2025 plans. In 2025, this operation will be expanded. The target number will be tripled, and new methods will be added. What's in the 2025 plans? First, AI-supported tracking systems. You won't just be monitored on social media anymore, but in daily life too. Your credit card spending, phone conversations, places you visit. Second, social circle analysis. Not just you, but your family. Friends will be analyzed too. And if you're determined to be in the risk group, interventions will begin in your circle too. Third, preemptive intervention. They won't wait for you to do something anymore. The moment they think you might do something, they'll intervene. And fourth, this is the most terrifying one. Fourth, thought crime. Yes, you heard right. People who haven't done anything yet but are assessed as potentially doing something will also be targeted. So why was this file leaked now? Why after 30 years? What the person who gave me the file wrote in their note, I've been inside this system for 30 years. I've seen how many people's lives it has destroyed. Families were broken up, careers were destroyed, dreams were stolen. And I witnessed all of this. I can't take it anymore. This system must be stopped. And at the end of the note they add, this file is just the beginning. There's more. But if this file doesn't get enough reaction, the others will never see the light of day. Everyone, this person risked their life to leak these documents, and they say there's more. But only through your reaction, your sharing, the importance you give to this issue will the rest come. So who runs this operation? The file has information about this too. Current coordinator of Operation Eagle, Dr. Sarah Mitchell. When I searched this name, I couldn't find any official records. It's as if she never existed. Operation Manager, Colonel David Roberts. He's not in official records either. Media Coordinator, Jennifer Walsh. Social Media Manager, Robert Chen. These people are like ghosts. No official identity, no records. But in the file, their job descriptions, salaries, areas of responsibility are all written in detail. And the most surprising part, these people work other jobs in their normal lives. They look like normal people. But secretly, they're part of this operation. And everyone. The file also has an informant list, meaning people who work for this operation but have different jobs in their normal lives, and you won't believe the length of this list. There are 247 people on the informant list. 247 people. These people are journalists, teachers, civil servants, workers in their normal lives, but secretly they're gathering information for this operation. For example, the list shows a university faculty member. This person monitors students and reports the risky ones. Another person is a social media company employee. They work to manipulate algorithms too. Another is a journalist. They control how news about these topics is presented in the media. And the most surprising, there are 12 social media influencers on the list. These people appear to be producing normal content, but are actually working to manipulate public opinion. Everyone, any content creator you're currently watching could be on this list. Think about it. People you trust, people you follow might actually be manipulating you. The file also has a list of successful operations carried out in the last 5 years. And what I read is truly disturbing. In 2020, a journalist was neutralized. How? First, their social media accounts were hacked. Then, fake scandal stories were published. Then they lost their job. Then they started having family problems. And finally, that person completely withdrew from media. In 2021, an academic was targeted. The method was fake student complaints, fake research results, fake academic ethics violation accusations. And that person had to leave the university too. In 2022, a social media influencer was neutralized. Through algorithm manipulation, follower count dropped, sponsorships were canceled, and they experienced serious income loss. In 2023, a civil society organization leader was targeted. Method: organization funding was cut, members were threatened, and the organization had to close. And everyone, these are just what we know. The file says 70% of successful operations were carried out without the target person ever noticing. So people never understood why they lost their jobs, why they had family problems, why their social media engagement dropped. Everyone, let me be very honest with you. My hands are shaking as I make this video because I don't know what will happen after I share these documents. I couldn't sleep at all last night after getting the file. I kept thinking I heard sounds at the door. I started hearing strange sounds on the phone, and when I woke up this morning, the apartment doorman looked at me strangely, as if he didn't recognize me. Maybe I'm getting paranoid. Maybe these are all tricks of my mind. But maybe not. If no new videos come for a long time after this video, if my channel suddenly shuts down, if you start seeing strange posts on my social media accounts, you'll know why now. But everyone, I'm not afraid. If I were afraid, I wouldn't have made this video, because some truths have to be told. Some secrets have to be exposed. Everyone, so far I've only shared 20% of the file with you. The remaining 80% has even more shocking things. For example, there are international agreements related to this operation. What information is shared with which countries? What technologies are used? For example, there's a list of technology companies used in this operation. And some of these companies, some are very familiar names. For example, there's a list of people who opposed this operation and accidentally disappeared. And for example, there are plans made for the next 10 years. What will change in this country by 2035? What kind of social structure will be created? But everyone, my ability to share all this information depends on your support. If this video doesn't create enough impact, if it's not shared enough, if it doesn't get enough attention, sharing those documents will be much riskier. Have you ever thought about the impact of this operation on society? How many journalists lost their jobs in the last 10 years? How many academics left universities? How many civil society organizations closed? How many social media influencers suddenly went silent? We considered these normal. We said, their time came and went. It's not like it used to be. Bad luck. But what if none of these were coincidences? What if they were all planned? What if the decrease in freedom of thought in this country, the increase in media silence, the restriction of academic freedom, what if all of these are the result of this operation? Then the social atmosphere we're currently living in isn't natural. It's artificially created. And everyone, this isn't just the past. This operation continues. Right now, at this very moment, someone is being monitored, targeted, neutralized. Maybe you're saying, these documents could be fake. This could be a hoax. You're right to be suspicious. I was suspicious too when I first saw it. But the file doesn't just have documents. There are audio recordings, video recordings, photographs, and most importantly, when I compared the information given in the file with events that actually happened, there are terrifying similarities. For example, the file says an operation called Operation Tulip would be carried out in March 2023. And strange events really did happen in the media around that time. The file says social media cleanup would be done in June 2024. And many accounts were really closed around that time. The file says academic restructuring would be done in September 2024. And many academics really did lose their jobs around that time. There can't be this many coincidences, everyone. These documents are real. And if they're real, then we're all in great danger. Everyone, thank you for watching this video. But watching isn't enough. This information needs to reach as many people as possible. Share, talk, question. Is there anyone around you who has experienced strange things recently, lost their job, had social media accounts closed, started having family problems? Maybe they're victims of this operation too. How do we fight this system? The file has clues about this too. First, awareness. The more people who know about the existence of this system, the harder it works. Second, solidarity. Not leaving targeted people alone, supporting them. Third, documentation. Recording strange things that happen to you, collecting evidence. And fourth, speaking out. Not staying silent, continuing to talk. Because everyone, this system feeds on silence. It grows with fear. But when the truth comes out, that's when it becomes powerless. There's much more in this file, and I'm determined to share these with you. In upcoming videos, we'll talk about the international connections of this operation. We'll explain the technologies used in this system. We'll share the real stories of targeted people. And most importantly, we'll learn how to protect ourselves against this system. But for this, I need your support. The more this video is watched, the more it's shared, the stronger we become. Because they're strong in the dark. But when truth comes to light, that's when we become strong. Everyone, before I finish this video, I want to say one last thing. This file changed my life. From the moment I received it yesterday evening, my perspective on the world completely changed. Now, I look at everything around me with suspicion. I started questioning every news story, every event, every coincidence. Maybe you'll feel the same after this video, and that's normal, because learning the truth isn't easy, but it's necessary. If you see something unusual on this channel tomorrow, if I suddenly start talking about different things, if these videos disappear, remember. Remember what I told you here today. This black file, this is the beginning, and more is coming. Because truth always finds its way. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, stay awake until we meet again. If we can meet again, that is,